Welcome to the factory of programming. Prepare your mind for exclusive tech experience. Listening to Vivo Bon right now.
Hello, so today we will see how to use Redocusaurus to document your APIs, for example, your Spring Boot APIs. Just here, document your Spring Boot APIs with Redocusaurus in minutes to create clear and interactive API documentation quickly. So as introduction, why use Redocusaurus for Spring Boot? Discover why clean API doc matters and how Redocusaurus makes it easy. Firstly, clear API documentation is very important. It helps users understand your API better. This is true whether your API is for coworkers or external users. Secondly, good documentation saves time. It lowers support questions and helps new developers onboard faster. Finally, Redocusaurus helps you make this doc with little effort. It turns your OpenAPI file into user-friendly website. Best of all, no coding is needed to build the site. Next, what is Redocusaurus? Learn what the Redocusaurus does and why it is perfect for Spring Boot. To begin with, Redocusaurus is a plugin for Docusaurus. It shows OpenAPI spec using Redoc, a popular documentation tool. In other words, it changes your YAML or JSON API file into interactive web page. Moreover, these pages lets users explore your API endpoints, parameters, and response easily. Therefore, Redocusaurus is great for Spring Boot teams who want simple, up-to-date doc without writing front-end code. Next, key features of Redocusaurus. See why Redocusaurus is the best choice for API docs. First, it converts open API files into interactive docs. Next, it works inside the Docusaurus website, keeping docs and other content together. Also, it lets you customize colors and layout easily. Finally, it is perfect for both private and public documentation portals. Next, step 1. Generate your OpenAPI file for Spring Boot documentation. Get your OpenAPI YAML ready from your Spring Boot app. First of all, add the Spring Boot dependency to your project pom.xml. So you have to use this dependency, the Spring Doc dash OpenAPI dash starter dash web MVC dash UA as artifact ID, and the group ID is .org.springdoc. Then start your Spring Boot app. It's already start, you see, okay, calculator application, it's just a simple application to do some basic calculation, plus, divide, minus, etc. After that, open your browser and go to localhost 8080 v3 of API docs. So I copy this content, okay, I put it in Notepad++, okay, and then I get back to my article, just here. Next, you will see API spec in JSON format. Okay, finally convert the JSON to using Swagger editor. So I go on Swagger editor, open in a new tab. I paste it here. Okay, would you like to convert your JSON into YAML? Okay, I copy that. It is that I have to copy because this is the YAML format that will be used by Docusaurus. I get back to my article. Okay.
Demo time.
Okay, so now we go to step 2, set up Redocusaurus for your Spring Boot docs. So I will create the documentation website with Docusaurus and Redocusaurus. First, I will check that I have Node.js installed. Alors, node.-v. Okay, so I got version 2270. Now I will create Docusaurus with the command line npx create-docusaurus at latest space fuji-doc-site space classic space -- TypeScript. Fuji-doc-site being the website folder containing all the files of the API documentation folder website. Classic being the default mode for building the Docusaurus website, and TypeScript, it is to benefit for the files to have the extension .ts to have type safety when maintaining the code. While it is generating the files in this folder, check that we have two files at the root. We will use it to move it in the project folder. I advise you to do the same thing and to put it in this in the folder I will do just after. Okay, so I have moved the cursor in the Fujidoc site. Now I am in the current directory Fujidoc site. I install the plugin Redocusaurus like this, npm install space Redocusaurus at latest. Great. Now I will do the little operation of moving files like this, a creation of a directory mkdir and two file moving. Okay, so the files that were here are not just here. I advise you to follow the same kind of project structure. And now I have to adjust the files. So I copy the part of the Redocusaurus plugin. It is not this file, it is the Docusaurus config files. So I have to put it in the preset. So you see I am in the presets. There is the first block for classic. And I put the block for Redocusaurus. And then I have to change the navigation part. I go in the navigation and I change these files, this part. Okay. Let's check if it works. npm run start. So the website is launching. Where it is. It is loading. Okay. So Word API, I've got the documentation for my API. For example, return the top and frequently occurring words in the provided text for this endpoint. You see API 1/top, and you put the body like this. Then return the frequency map of words in provided text. And here count the total number of words. Get sample text. This help for all endpoint. Okay. And I have another page, calculator APIs. Same things. I can browse the different endpoint and their documentation. Thank you very much, and maybe see you in another video. Bye.